budget for 2025.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. Colorado's capital is also shelling out more for safety and security measures. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com. Don't miss out on Black Friday sales, live now through November 30th.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The stock market ending November with record closes for the Dow Jones and S&P 500. The Dow finishing Friday's shortened session up 189 points, the S&P 500 up 34, and the NASDAQ up 158. Shares of Tesla rising on this Black Friday, up almost 4% at the closing bell. The EV maker is now one of only 8 companies with a market value above $1 trillion. OpenAI is being sued in Canada. 5 major Canadian news media companies accusing the ChatGPT owner of breaching copyright and online terms of use on a regular basis. Meanwhile, Canada's antitrust watchdog, the Competition Bureau, is suing Google, alleging it conducted anti-competitive online advertising practices. And that's your Fox Business Report. I'm Laura Cantor, invested in you.
Kudlow on Fox Business is now on the go for podcast fans. Download the Kudlow Show podcast every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com. Kudlow covers the latest headlines and business trends with an emphasis on the financial impact facing households and businesses across the country. Listen to interviews with key business newsmakers. The Kudlow podcast will be available on the go after the show every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's commercial property and development expert Rick Meyer.
Lincoln County has seen tremendous growth, and especially in residential, but along with that brings commercial development opportunities. Meyer & Company Real Estate's really tried to focus, and a lot of my direct focus has been on how can we bring good growth to our area, bring the services that we need. I think there has been a lot of interest by commercial developers to come and bring projects to, and we're right in the middle of it. There is a lot of interest in multifamily apartments or villas. Bottom line, not everybody can afford to buy a new house or find a place of their own on acreage. We really do have a need for multifamily and rental properties, whether it's a retail type operation. We're trying to attract those type businesses to the area as well.
Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at MeyerListings.com.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Beyer.
San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy is good to go for today's matchup in Buffalo against the Bills. Purdy is expected to start tonight, despite missing last week against Green Bay because of a shoulder injury. Now, weather could be a factor, as almost 3 feet of snow was dumped at Highmark Stadium, the home of the Bills, over the weekend, but officials say that the heavy snowfall is not expected to exist during tonight's game. The NFL Network says it's not likely that Eagles wide receiver Devontae Smith plays today in Baltimore against the Ravens. Ravens linebacker Roquan Smith expects to be back in the lineup. He missed Monday's game against the Chargers because of a hamstring strain. Jets should have running back Breece Hall today against the Seahawks, while the Patriots will have wide receiver Demario Douglas against the Colts. Colts wide receiver Alec Pierce will play against New England. Premier League, Chelsea topped Aston Villa today 3-0. Man U over Everton 4-0.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Broken clouds in Troy. Getting down to 15 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the upper 20s, light snow likely. Temperatures in the lower 30s forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy, it's 27. In Warrenton, it's 27 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate, or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Well, good Sunday morning. It is time for Uncensored Wrestling Talk live here in the Gateway Fiber Studios of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Also on KYRO's Facebook page, Traveling East Productions, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Go like and subscribe. Of course, also on the Uncensored Wrestling Talk Facebook page, and also on Twitter, and that handle for Twitter is
UW Talk KYRO.
There we
Follow
go.
us.
There you go. There you go. And of course, the voice that you just heard, our resident referee, he is the one and only H.D. Daniels. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
And also, across from me and to his right, we've got the super fan, the nematode. He is Tim Williams.
Good morning, everyone. It's a glorious day here in East Lincoln County. It's a little cold, but it's nice and dry.
There's snow on the ground. Dry. There's snow on the ground.
The roads are dry. It's frozen dry.
Yeah, it's
Freeze
frozen dry, all right. You would take that frozen dry and stick it where the sun don't shine. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm just thankful that it wasn't like a huge 6, 7, 8 inches of snow, 5, 6 inches of snow. Because leading up to it, I was seeing for like a couple of days leading up to it, I was seeing all kind of fluctuations of, how much snow we were going to get. And I'm like, no, I don't want this. I don't want it. It's too early.
Yeah, I saw one that said 5 to 6.
Yeah.
Coming up to it.
Now, later on in the week, I believe it's like Wednesday or Thursday, it's supposed to get up to like 50 degrees again.
Right.
So all this stuff is going to be melted and gone, and Sarge is going to be a happy camper again. But it's cold out there this morning. It's like mid-20s. It must be cold here in the studio, too, because as you can see on the Facebook feeds, HD has put his cap on.
Well, it's a cosmetic business. I got to keep my bald head.
I love it.
And you made fun of me with my glasses last week.
You can make fun of me now. It's all right.
I think it looks pretty stylish
It does.
myself. I kind of like it.
Nanook of the North over here.
Be careful on a break. I may go grab mine and throw mine on as well.
Oh, Lord.
There's that. There is that. So, what a week in the world of professional wrestling. But before we get to anything, I do want to let everybody know that our sponsor, the NWA World League Wrestling, next live show at the Race Wrestling Arena, the last show of the year in Troy, Missouri, on December the 14th. Tickets are on sale right now. HarleyRace.com. Get your tickets. The front row is completely sold out. And you know what? I got this feeling. I don't know, but I got this feeling that we may just sell out again, and maybe even another double sellout. What do you guys think?
We'll sell it out once and try it for again.
There you go. There you
It's
go.
the hottest ticket in town. I got my tickets. So.
It is. It really truly is the hottest ticket in town. And now that World League Wrestling has become officially affiliated as a territory of the NWA, things are just going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. And when World League Wrestling became a territory, we were the 5th territory to become affiliated with the NWA. But since then, another one down in San Antonio, Texas, has also become a territory, and that is one that's ran by Rodney Mack and Jazz. Mm-hmm. And wow. Can you believe this? This is just getting bigger and bigger, and to think of all the different talent that can be, moved around and used at many different places, to include the NWA main roster showing up at different places. you never know who's going to show up. And we've had that moniker in World League Wrestling of anything can happen for quite some time now, but now it was truth before, but now it's even more so.
Yeah, it's, just the fantasy bookings that you can pull from each territory is going to be incredible. Something else I did want to remind everybody, on December 14th at the event, there is a food drive.
Yes, there is.
So everybody bring canned foods and do whatever you can to support the community.
And that is for the Bread for Life food pantry. And if I remember reading it correctly, if you bring in 5 canned, food cans,
something like that,
you'll get a raffle ticket. And that raffle ticket will go for a very large TV that WLW goes and gets and does every single year. So it's a lot of great stuff. And this morning already, we've got some comments on the Facebook feed, and one from Andrew Michael Strobel. Andy, he says WLW for life, and I agree. Yep. I agree with that sentiment. What's your thoughts on Christmas Bash and what it means for the industry, for World League Wrestling right now?
Well, it's our last show of the year, so we want to go out, on the highest note as possible. We're running on the high wave of the last show becoming a territory, and it's the spirit of the season. I think everybody just wants to come and have a great time.
Absolutely, for sure. So make sure you get in there, get your tickets. You don't want to miss out. So many people show up at the door thinking that they're going to be able to get in, and they get turned away. And you can only blame yourself for that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, the tickets are reasonably priced, and it's a great time, great event.
Now, it was announced the other day on World League Wrestling's Facebook page that there is a match already that's been announced for this awesome card. It is going to be the monstrous newcomer, Mike Maverick. He is going to be taking on the Deliverer Moses. And, of course, we know at last month's event, WLW 25, the Deliverer, he lost that WLW Junior Heavyweight Championship to a man that had been seeking it for a year and a half, Raheem De La Suede. And, the Deliverer, he's got to do what he can do to get himself back on track.
Yeah. He was sorry. I saw some trash talking going on online. Did you guys see that?
Really? Yeah, I have not seen that. What's going on? Tell us about it.
The rookie, called him a legend, called Moses a legend, but then said something to the effect of time to take out the legend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. It's crazy. It's weird to me. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Monstrous Mike Maverick. He has flipped that coin back and forth a couple of times already in his very young career at World League Wrestling. He had a match with the Sergeant at Arms, Blade Lennox, and he lost that match. Then that night of his debut, he was in the Door to Destiny Rumble, and he eliminated Blade Lennox. And then the following event, he had a rematch with Blade Lennox and got the win on that one. Then a few weeks ago, we went to Green Ridge, Missouri, and circumstances came about where the Monstrous One and the Sergeant at Arms ended up teaming together to go up against the Premier, and they got a huge win.
They did.
A huge win. And he had made comments that he was tired of people getting jumped, because the Premier, they jumped both men during their singles matches. And so that was one of the reasons why he decided to go ahead and team up with Blade Lennox. But now, as you're saying, he's making these comments about the Deliverer Moses. What is going on with this young man?
Oh, I don't know what's going on with him. He's just trying to make a name. We'll see if he can do it.
He's big enough to do it. I'll tell you what. I mean, I like his style. He says what he wants to say, and he sounds like he's going to do whatever he wants to do.
I tell you what, he's got the size. He's got the size to back up stuff that he says. So it's going to be interesting to see the trajectory of his career starting out here at World League Wrestling.
I still think he looks like a young Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
You know, we have said many people have said something to him about it, and he went back and looked at some younger photos of Terry Bam Bam Gordy, the WWE Hall of Famer himself. And he now even sees that there is a bit of a resemblance. So he ended up going back and talking to his mother to find out, hey, is there any chance? So, hey, he's got the talent, that's for sure. And coming out of the Race Wrestling Academy, you know that whenever anybody comes out of that academy, they have been taught the right way. Mm-hmm. They have been taught all of your technical skills. And when you come out of that academy, you're ahead than most other people coming out of a wrestling school.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They're trained. Once you're not done training, but once you are able to have a match, you are able to have a long and good match. Mm-hmm. As opposed to other schools, I would say.
Because, I mean, you're never done training, right? Mm-hmm. You always want to keep yourself limber and learning new things and adding things to your repertoire and, all that sort of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see this match. Because, like I said, the Deliverer Moses, he's got to do what he can do to get himself back on the winning side of the track. But again, with the Deliverer, just one loss in a year and a half. Yeah. Wow, what a tremendous run that he had with that WLW Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, it was great. We saw a bit of a change of attitude, but still, putting on solid matches, solid wins.
It's going to be interesting to see how salty he is after the loss.
True. Mm-hmm. And of course he is one of the very few, very, very few that can lay claim to being a Triple Crown winner, being the WLW Heavyweight Champion, the Junior Heavyweight Champion, and of course Tag Team Champions. So he's one of those few that can, like I said, that can lay claim to that.
Yeah, I mean, he's always going to have probably high ranking in WLW. Now, where it goes from there to see how he does against some of the talent from NWA, that's the real challenge too. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of good matches that he could come out with.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. If he ever went up against, and again, with being a part of the NWA now, it's possible. If he went up against Alex Taylor, the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship, you know what? He's got one heck of a chance, possibly. And to be honest, that's against anybody in the NWA. Okay. Mm-hmm. So
I'd like to see how he'd go against EC3.
Ooh.
Oh well.
Well,
how about that?
Throw him in the deep end. Throw him in the deep end.
Boy, Superfan just wants to throw everybody in the deep end all the time.
Sink or swim.
Sink or swim. Well, we are about to hit our first break here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk. And, of course, we're talking about World League Wrestling in this very first segment here. But when we come back, we're going to dive into a whole bunch of stuff that's gone on in the world of professional wrestling over this past week and much, much more right after this.
The Moscow Mills Lions Club invites you every second Sunday of the month, 7:30 to noon. All-you-can-eat breakfast, $12 adults, kids 6 to 11, 6, and children under 6 eat free. Sunday breakfast, 30 Friese Industrial Drive in Moscow Mills.
Mounts Plumbing and Construction, the first name in all commercial and residential repairs, as well as new construction. Mounts specializes in sewer cleaning, jetting, water heaters, hydro excavation, sewer camera and locating, mainline jetting and cleaning. There's nothing we can't do. Located in Moscow Moscow Mills at 40 Walter Court. Call us at 314-230-9001. That's 314-230-9001. We're the best plumbing company in town. Ask about our senior citizen, military, police, and first responder discounts.
Hi, this is Ken with Elliott Flooring. Listen for the News Radio KYRO local news at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, and 4 p.m. Powered by Elliott Flooring.
Welcome back to Uncensored Wrestling Talk live here in the Gateway Fiber Studios of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Of course, also on all the different feeds that we are on. Check it out. Interact with us on the Facebook feeds, YouTube, Rumble, and we will get to your questions and comments. Join us in on our conversations. And of course, we are in the holiday weekend of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving on Thursday. HD, I got to ask you, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. Ate
Awesome.
a lot of turkey, gravy, taters.
Yeah.
How was yours?
Really, really good. Really good. Super fan. How was yours?
It was wonderful. I deep fried a turkey for the first time.
See,
and I'm never going to do it a different way.
HG, this is what strikes me funny, because Superfan over here is a former executive chef, right?
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And I would have thought, for as long as he was an executive chef, that he would have done that at least a few times during his career. But he says that, yes, on Thursday, that was his very first time ever doing a fried turkey.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to have the equipment for it with the tank, the gas line, and your burner outside.
Sure.
And I picked a brand new, they're called the Fry King, at a garage sale for $10, and it's like a $80, $90 fryer.
Nice.
So, brand new, never been used, and so that's why I've never fried a turkey, because I never had a pot big enough to take it outside with a burner and fry it in.
Wow. Okay. So, I've heard that the oil that you fry it in makes a huge difference. So, I'm going to just ask real quick, what kind of oil did you use to fry your turkey in?
Normally, people should use peanut oil.
Sure.
Because it has a higher smoke point. I ended up having, because my daughter's allergic to peanuts, I just did a standard high smoke fryer oil.
Oh, okay.
It was a blend.
Okay. But if there's people that aren't allergic to the peanuts and stuff, I've heard that the peanut oil is probably the best way to go.
Actually, that's really the best oil to fry in for your chicken, your French fries, or whatever. So.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm glad you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and we hope that everybody out there had a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving yourselves. We are right around the corner to Christmas, Hanukkah, the New Year,
Kwanzaa.
Today is December the 1st, guys. I cannot believe that this year has. It seems, I guess, maybe as we get older, the year goes by quicker, I guess. But this year, just so much stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling alone that it just makes everything go by so quickly.
Yeah, we're at the end.
We are. And again, just a couple of weeks away from Christmas Bash 2024 for World League Wrestling. Get your tickets again, HarleyRace.com. So,
let me jump. And this is a little sidebar that I think is interesting. Of all the shows, you've got AEW, Collision, and Dynamite. You've got Raw, SmackDown, NXT. TNA. Where do you think the best storytelling is going on right now?
I'll start off with this one. I'll tell you who's not. AEW has got to get better at the storytelling. Now, there are some stuff that's going on that I'm enjoying, and they're doing a really good job.
So I really like some of the stories going on in AEW, but as a whole, they probably need to get better. But some of their stories that they have, I'm intrigued by the most out of all of them.
And that's what I was going to say too. As a whole, I'm going to have to go with WWE. Honestly,
I'm going to go with TNA on this one.
Really? How come?
They are so storyline based. Everything they do is they connect dots to years and years ago, and WWE's getting better about that. Everything TNA does, like Josh Alexander just turned heel, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason that he did that. Everything has a reason. You're nodding your head like you might agree.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So, real quick, before you move forward, for those that didn't get to see, what exactly happened with Josh Alexander that he made that switch?
Yeah, he basically just got disgruntled. Felt like the company was against him because he was there, in his mind, the golden boy for so long. Then he got injured and he came back and he had some shortcomings, couldn't get the title back, and now, you know what? Screw you. I'm going to be the Josh Alexander that I need to be to get back to where I was. He's got a faction now and everything.
Yeah, he put back together that, what is it called? The Northern Armory?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
The Canada Club.
Ooh, can you imagine if Ethan Page hadn't made that switch to AEW than WWE, if he was still in TNA? I would have to think that he would probably be would have gotten back together with Josh Alexander.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the better tag teams that TNA has had in a long time.
Yeah. Josh Alexander is one of those workhorses. He beat Ospreay earlier this year.
He did.
So
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's one of those names you can't forget. But, other than that, there's the Frankie Kazarian story. There's the Jordan Grace and Masha Slamovich story.
Yeah.
I'm not saying other places like WWE don't tell stories. They do. But there's something about the way TNA does it where everything is logical.
And the system.
Yeah.
Their storyline. And they're pretty much involved with just about anything and everything.
Yeah, Moose is the X Division champ. I'm actually glad we're talking about TNA. They deserve it.
Yeah.
Moose as the X Division champ is awesome. I think it's a great thing.
To me, one of the greatest storylines actually is Eddie Edwards and his evolution throughout the years, because he's really Impact TNA, one of the originals there, when he came in as the American Wolves, and just his life in TNA. If you watch it, I mean, it's a roller coaster.
It is
very entertaining.
It is. It really truly is. And another one that I'm really surprised with how she's done, but then again, not so much, because she's been one heck of a talent, and that's his wife,
Alicia.
Alicia Edwards. Yeah. Wow. I mean,
But it seems like she gets injured all the time, though.
A little bit.
She's got that Dominic heat.
Right.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
People do not like to hear her speak. For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, if you go up against, if you throw in, let's say, the number of stories that are going on, who would you say has the most stories and things that, and what I'm meaning by that is not getting lost
right
in the sauce, and as a fan not getting lost, and maybe attention span wise losing the attention of it all.
See, that's where to me, that's NXT right now. I think NXT probably they have good storylines, but they're not overly dragging them out to make you lose what's going on or why did this happen. So, I'm really enjoying TNA and the women's divisions in NXT.
For sure. And I'm loving the fact that Jordan Grace is back over in the NXT tearing it up too.
Yeah.
HD?
Yeah, she had a great match with Masha over the weekend. Friday night, Turning Point. 2 out of 3 falls match.
Wow.
She didn't win, but
what a match that was.
Yeah.
Whew. And something else that happened at Turning Point on Friday night with TNA that actually it a bit surprised me. And we're going to have to watch and see if it was just a one-off or if he's actually signed a contract. But Matt Riddle showing up.
And that made sense, actually. Talking about the logic of TNA, he teamed up with the Rascals. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And and he's another one following, I guess you could say in a way, in the footsteps of a Drew McIntyre, a Cody Rhodes, who have left WWE and went to the indie circuit and plus New Japan and other different places, and has really, even though he won several titles in the WWE, and I think he did pretty well in the WWE. I'll be honest, I didn't quite like him at first year or so that he was doing things, but he has gotten so much better after he left the WWE as opposed to when he was there.
You think so?
I do.
Okay, all right, fair enough. He was putting on great matches, like him versus Sheamus at Mania is one of my favorite matches
for sure.
Yeah, so for you to say he got better is.
And also the RK Bro stuff that was going on between him and Randy Orton.
Yeah,
I was kind of bummed when Randy Orton had gotten injured because of the bloodline.
Yeah,
and RK Bro couldn't continue on. But yeah, I think Matt Riddle is one of the most improved wrestlers since he's left the WWE. What do you think?
No, absolutely. I mean, he needed probably a little bit of time away. I think he got accustomed to the system of WWE and got too accustomed. And just like going out, and if you're unhappy with your booking or whatever they're doing for you, sometimes you got to make a little wave, and that's what he's doing. You know, talking about resurrection of people, look at Nick Nemeth.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, he loves his role in TNA.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing about Nick Nemeth, and this is in my eyes anyway. Towards his last, I would say the last 2-3 years that he was with the WWE, he had gotten so good that the WWE didn't know what to do with him. But with that being said, he could be thrown into any sort of match, regardless of the situation, and come out with notches on his level belt, basically, of where he just kept getting better and getting better and getting better. And that's one of those ones that I think WWE dropped the ball on not re-signing and really pushing Nick Nemeth hard as Dolph Ziggler or whichever. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can argue against that he deserved more in WWE, but it just wasn't in the cards for him to be at that level. I mean, he won the world title, but he was never perceived to be a Gunther or a Cody or anything like that. It's just their perception of him, right or wrong. That's the way it was.
But and again, this is just my perception, and you guys may agree or not, but towards his last couple of years in the WWE, his matches were, I hate using the star system stuff,
sure,
but they were top notch.
Yeah, they were.
Every single one of them was better than the last one, and I would argue that he had better matches. In a lot of cases, he had better matches than what Gunther and Cody has had in the last couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
My thing was, I wanted so much more of the Dirty Dogs. Him and Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
The Dirty Dogs that I think it was Bobby that got hurt, you know. But you just you wonder if there was going to be shenanigans or if they were just going to go straight up. Or
I think they were used to get other teams over.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
they did become the champions, but they became the champions to put over.
Sure.
I believe it was Ray and Dominic.
Yeah, absolutely, and Bobby Roode, I'll be honest, he's also one of my favorites. To see him go through TNA and be with TNA for as long as he was, and then finally getting that jump over to NXT. I think he's another one that, even though he did extremely well in the NXT and became world champion in or the NXT champion, he's one of those ones that should have been moved to the main roster immediately.
Well, he became a theme song.
Right.
Yes. But he is one of those ones that the World Heavyweight Championship should he should have been able to compete for that over and over again.
At least the U.S. or Intercontinental.
Well, he won the U.S. several different times. But I'm talking about the main event.
Right.
You know, the last match on the card, the going after the big dogs, so to speak. I don't think he got enough of that, to be honest about it.
Yeah, and I think I read right now, because of all the injuries, he's a trainer at the Performance Center.
You see him on, when they do like a run-in or a pull-apart, you see Robert Roode pop up with Jamie Noble.
Yep.
And,
right.
Yeah, you
so
see
he's
him
a
every once
producer
in a
and
while.
agent in the back during Raw and SmackDown and all that kind of stuff. And, I think he's, with working with the younger talent and everything like that, I think he's doing a tremendous job.
Yeah.
So, we could see one of these quote-unquote breakout stars really make it huge, and it would not surprise me to find out later down the line that it was really Bobby Roode behind it all, pushing them to doing certain things.
Yeah, you'll hear stuff like, I think Abyss had a hand in one of AJ Styles' matches earlier this year. Like, you hear stuff like that. That's really cool.
And in comparison, I like with Arn Anderson, if it wasn't for Arn Anderson, John Cena, different story, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the 14-time world champion without Arn Anderson.
16.
Well, 16, whatever.
16. He's tied with Ric Flair right now, supposedly.
Yeah, okay. Nobody's better than Ric Flair.
Woo! Yes, there is. There's at least one person that's better than Ric Flair. The greatest wrestler ever to grace God's green earth, Harley Race.
How dare you.
Right.
Boom. Mic drop. But speaking, and I know we're jumping all over the place, and that's okay. Sometimes it happens. But with John Cena, so in about a month's time, at the beginning of the year, it starts the John Cena retirement tour. Do you think at some point throughout that year that he captures one of those, either the WWE Championship or the World Championship, and breaks, quote unquote, that record to hold the most championships?
No.
You don't think so, Superfan?
Nope.
Why?
Because one, you need to be able to defend it, and I still think even on the Farewell Tour, you're only going to see him maybe once a month or once every few months. I've had enough of the world champions only showing up every 2 months.
HD.
I kind of agree with Tim. I think John Cena, if it was presented to him, like, hey, we want to put the title on you, he would probably say no. Like, I think he said before, like, he doesn't want that attention or prestige. tying Ric Flair is good enough for him. But what I would like to see is somehow Randy get within the next year, 2 more wins. I think is he at 14?
He's at 14.
So he needs 2 more wins to tie Cena, lose the belt again, and then Cena versus Randy at Mania for number 17. That's fantasy booking.
Well, here's the problem with that.
No, I don't want to hear
with that. We've got 1 month left in the year. Then about 4 months before we get to WrestleMania, because WrestleMania would be at the beginning of April.
Okay, SummerSlam.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, because how can you throw in there Randy Orton winning, losing?
Yeah,
that
crazier things have happened.
You're right. That is true. Crazier things have happened, and you never know. Here's another question with John Cena, staying on the John Cena story for a moment. And either way, yes or no, and why, John Cena turning heel.
Yeah.
No, it'll never happen.
Okay, first, since he said it first, I'm going to our resident referee, H.D. Daniels. You say yes.
I said yeah as an acknowledgement to your question. Like, yeah, people are going to be asking this question. But I have a spin on this.
Okay, I want to hear it.
John Cena, you're going to disagree. John Cena is a heel.
How so? How do you mean?
I know he gets the pops, he gets the cheers, he does the Make-A-Wish stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really analyze a John Cena promo, he goes all heel. He doesn't wrestle heel, but he takes his promos in a direction that his opponent can't go. Like he breaks fourth walls. He talks about creative. He talks about storylines. Like I remember a promo against Roman Reigns. He was like, "Who are you? I don't know who you are." It's like, well, Roman Reigns has been ordered by management to change his character, but Roman Reigns can't talk about that. John Cena can talk about that.
Right.
It's like, dude, that's so heel. What did you just do?
Yeah. I kind of see your point.
I was saying no, just because he said for years and years, "Boo me, cheer me, I am who I am," and and I don't think it will ever get to the point where people are going to boo him.
And when he goes boo me, and I love it when you boo me, it's like, that's so heel, dude. That's so
exactly.
heel.
Exactly. No, we haven't seen John Cena do a whole lot over the last couple of years or so. But before that, for almost 2 years, 3 years or so, he was getting booed like crazy.
Early
he
2000s,
was getting
big
booed.
time. Yeah.
Well, that was early in his career, but I'm talking before he took this basically long hiatus for a couple of years, and this is everywhere that he would go. Here in the States or abroad, he would get booed.
He would.
Hard booed.
Right, and that's where he started the whole, cheer me, boo me, I am who I am.
Mm-hmm. And because of that, and because of what you're talking about with the promos and everything, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at the very within maybe a month or so, at the beginning of the year when he starts this tour, he takes a detour on being everybody's favorite, right?
What kind of a heel do you think John Cena would be?
Is he going to be a match heel where he cheats to win?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Does he need a faction?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely
so
not.
you're talking like Chain Gang Cena.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 20 years later,
right,
leveled up. And I think that could work. Don't you?
Oh, it could work. He knows how to do it. I just don't know if they're gonna do it.
Right. That's the question. What are they gonna do? Well, we are up against a break right now. We're going to have to take it. We're over it. So let's go ahead and take this break, and we'll jump right back in. More Uncensored Wrestling Talk right after this.
No longer are you forced to pay high, non-member retail prices or be tied down to one brand of car wash because you belong to their loyalty program. Get better mileage out of your hard-earned dollar with a Wash Me membership. With Wash Me, it's as easy as click, click, clean. You decide where and when you want your car washed. Open the app, select a partner wash location, press go, and Wash Me will take you there using your favorite mapping app. Whether you're at home or away for some business or hopefully pleasure, you'll have access to a nearby Wash Me partner wash. Your Wash Me membership is linked to your mobile phone and not your vehicle, which means you can wash your car, a rental car, grandma's car, or any car, as long as you have your phone with you. Check out the Wash Me app on your favorite app store or mywashme.com for more information.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's farm auction and acreage expert Dan Stokes.
You know, Meyer & Company's been in the business for over 40 years. We specialize in things called 1031 exchanges, so we're very versed in how to exchange farm ground for other farm ground. So it's something that we do on a daily basis, and we really enjoy doing it.
We are the #1 stop in the region for buying and selling residential, commercial, and farm real estate. We've been serving the area for more than 40 years, and we do it with pride.
It's still a pretty strong seller's market. Dollars per acre is still high. If you're able to connect with a good agent and you can find something off market, we do that all the time, and you know, we're able to still get some deals out there here and there.
Dan Stokes.
You can either call my cell phone at 314-971-0654, or you can call the brokerage at 636-462-5555.
Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at meyerlistings.com.
At CHS, we know what it takes to feed and fuel the world, to integrate a global ag and energy supply chain, to advocate for farmers in their fields and around the world. to build communities, invest in rural America, and empower rural economies. It takes courage, conviction, commitment. It takes the nation's leading farmer-owned cooperative. It takes a co-op. It takes CHS.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Broken clouds in Troy. Getting down to 15 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the upper 20s, light snow likely. Temperatures in the lower 30s forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 27. In Warrenton it's 27 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Uncensored Wrestling Talk. We're live in the Gateway Fiber studios of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Of course, also all the different feeds, the Facebook feed of the radio station, Traveling East Productions, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Go like and subscribe. Of course, also on the Uncensored Wrestling Talk Facebook page as well. Join us on those. Interact with us. Ask your questions. Join in on the conversations that we're having. We want to hear your opinions. And HD Daniels right now on the Twitter handle.
Yeah.
UW Talk KYRO.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
He is about to put on there a question for everybody to think about and to answer. So we would love to hear your responses to this question. And HD, what are you typing in right now?
What promotion has the best storylines in wrestling today? Tim and I agree that it's TNA. You said WWE. So go on Facebook, go on Twitter. Let us know. Follow us.
I'm gonna say after listening to your guys' discussion about it,
changing your mind.
I'm going to say it's a tie right now.
Okay.
Between TNA and WWE. But I will say this about TNA. There for a long time, those backstage vignettes were horrid. Absolutely terrible. And they have gotten so much better.
Do you mean like the production quality?
That, yes.
Okay.
Remember the house party thingamajigger that they had going
that's
on?
So funny.
It was funny, but it was stupid.
Yeah, that's why it was funny. Wrestle House.
That's it. That's what it was. That's what it was. Wrestle House. Good Lord have mercy. We've got a lover of the Wrestle House in here. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy. Another trainee at the Race Wrestling Academy has joined us on the Facebook page. Wyatt Simpson, sitting back, going in there and seeing some of the training that's going on and everything. That young man is coming along pretty nicely as well as all the other ones. But Wyatt Simpson, I can't wait to see him get that graduation done and step into that squared circle and compete as well. Wow. It's just tremendous what the Race Wrestling Academy has been doing these last several years now.
Well, like you said, it's now that's where you really need to come and train and learn, because now you have a fast track. And that's the biggest, and I really believe in my heart that that's the reason why NWA said, hey, we want you as an affiliate and pull you into our territory.
Well, I think there's two reasons. That one, for sure, and then also just the competition, the work that gets put inside those ropes on an every single basis, every event basis that happens. It's almost second to none, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it's exciting, especially watching someone like Monster Mike grow and grow and grow. You got other people like Austin Mulitalo You
For
see
sure.
him not only in WLW, but everywhere else he's wrestling at, he's winning championships and moving forward. You know, it's really good to see what I would consider, even though they might not actually live in the area, but I would consider them the homegrown talent.
Sure. Now, HD. Sometimes El Burgundy, he says, and I agree with him, sometimes the conversations that are said off air in between breaks are some of the best ones. And I do agree with him, because during that last break, we were having a conversation.
Yeah.
And please, speak on that. Tell everybody what we were talking about.
So we were talking about John Cena, our continuation of that conversation. We talked about how the three of us weren't the biggest fans of him during, the 5 Moves of Doom era. The height, when he reached, the teen numbers of the title reigns. Like, it got a little too much.
Yeah. The teeny boppers loved him.
There's, I don't really like to come on the air and criticize someone's wrestling ability. It's not my thing.
Sure.
But during that time, the John Cena matches got a little too much.
It would have probably been easy refereeing because you knew where he was going to go.
I knew where he was going to go, and I knew what he was going to do, right? There's one match I always like to bring up during this whole John Cena discussion. That's the Iron Man match with Randy Orton. And you got John Cena versus Randy Orton in an Iron Man match. And what do? They make it a no DQ, and I think that really tainted the match.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because an Iron Man match is supposed to be the best of the best. Let's wrestle for an hour, and let's see who's the best after 1 hour. And what do? They give John Cena weapons. It didn't do it for me. It was like, let's see if John Cena can really do this.
Yeah.
Can he really wrestle for an hour? Oh, no, he's going to submit Randy with a chain. Like that, it bothered me. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, an Iron Man match is a 60-minute match. Best number of pinfalls and submissions win. No DQs. I mean, no. You took something out of it that allowed people not to have to wrestle and be able to create breaks.
Yep.
I'm going to ask you guys a hard question here, because I also have my thoughts on this. When you're talking about the Iron Man match, most of your Iron Man matches that we see is an hour. Back in the day, and we're going to jump in the way back machine for a moment, the 70s and the 80s and a little bit of the 90s, we would see hour matches all the time. All the time. Every day of the week, and twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday. In today's world of professional wrestling, now, and I'm not saying there's not some that can't do it, okay? But as a whole, could the wrestling industry do that again right now as it sits?
It's hard. I'll tell you, when I went to OVW for a few months last year, I came from working the indies where the matches were sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, and I get to OVW. I'm going to learn how to do proper television. They say, you got 6 minutes. Like, excuse me? 6? Yeah, they got to tell their whole story in a 6-minute match, and some could do it, some could not. I'm answering you in a way of someone who knows that you can't just put an hour match on TV all the time.
Sure.
But you could do house shows with it for sure.
Yeah. But that's the question. That's the question. Even on house shows. Let's just say house shows alone. Can the industry as a whole still pull it off?
I don't know if people's attention spans would want it.
Right, because if you look at it, a lot of that is headlock takeover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holding the hold.
Holding the hold.
Grinding it in.
Grinding it in, taking it, and pulling 3 to 5 minutes on a headlock. This day and age, people are so accustomed to the flip-flop flies that they might lose interest.
See, and that's what I think too. I think
but I do miss the.
I do too. I do too. But I think today's wrestling fan, today's wrestling fan couldn't handle it. I don't think they would be able to handle watching our Broadways, as they like to be called, all the time.
Who's somebody that you would want to see do it on like Flair did it all the time, right? Who would you want to see do that often?
Braun Breaker.
Okay.
For sure, Braun Breaker. Sami Zayn, I think, could pull it off.
Okay.
Kevin Owens, I think, could pull it off.
I think Cody Rhodes could pull it off.
I was about to say him as well.
Him and Seth could do it.
Claudio Castagnoli.
Oh, he could totally do it.
Will Ospreay.
All right.
There's a list.
All right.
Yeah.
But when you take that list and compare it to the rest of the industry, the other list is so much longer, so it becomes a shorter list of who those folks that we were just talking about, and there's more, but those folks, to be able to work with another person, they would have to be only working within that list.
Yep.
Basically.
I hear you.
So,
but the greatest thing about that is the fact that you can actually build that storyline or the story within the match. You got the guy taking over, and you're holding him down and holding him down. He's trying to fight back. We don't see enough underneath fighting back. It's like one move, and then the other guy's on top.
Sure.
Where's that, hey, fight to your feet, against the ropes, pull the tights, pull him back down. He's back on the mat. And you get the crowd going, come on, you can do it, you can do it.
Yep. For sure. HD, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't even know if I would want to see that as often as you're suggesting. I like to see, not necessarily big cards, but I like people to have their spot on the show. An hour-long match takes away from somebody's spot.
Well, I'm not saying it needs to be done all of the time.
Okay.
But once in a while would be really cool to see.
Agree.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be an Iron Man match itself. Just that, because there's a lot of times where we're watching wrestling, and at the very beginning, of course, one fall with a blank time limit, right? Most, like you were saying, most of them 20 minutes, 30 minutes. There's sometimes where we hear the announcer say 60-minute time limits. And it would be cool to see every once in a while those matches. And when it's those matches, it's usually higher up in the card, usually for a championship of some sort. Go the distance. Because it wasn't too awful long ago that we saw Bryan Danielson and Hangman Adam Page do that. Or was it Hangman Adam Page?
Well,
I know it was Bryan Danielson.
Well, there's the MJF match.
Yeah,
that was the actual Iron Man match.
Yeah, that was an Iron Man match. But I'm just talking the full 60-minute regular time limit.
I hear you. Okay.
But I think that would be really, really cool to see, and something for the, I guess you could say, younger crowd to experience something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm reminded
and make them more appreciative of what's really truly being going on, and the storylines being told in those type of matches.
I'm reminded of like Kofi Mania. He did that gauntlet match. It was like over an hour, right? To earn his spot at Mania. They do that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Well, we have got about 50 seconds here before we go to the top of the hour. The first hour went by so quickly, as it always does, talking on all kinds of different subjects. But when we come back in the second hour, we're going to talk Survivor Series. We'll talk all the other different things that went on during the week of the last week of November through Thanksgiving and all that awesome stuff, and how it affects moving forward for the last month of the year. So much stuff about to happen. Ooh, hold on to your seats, because it's going to be wild and crazy this last month in professional wrestling. And we will be right back right after the top of the news.
Live from the Gateway Fiber Studios, online at gatewayfiber.com. News Radio 105.3, 1280 KYRO Troy. It's 11 o'clock in the Heartland.
News, I'm Jack Callahan. Another potentially controversial pick from President-elect Trump, tapping former federal prosecutor Kash Patel to replace FBI Director Christopher Wray.
Wray's ouster wasn't unexpected. Trump's been criticizing him for a long time
especially after Wray appeared to vouch for President Biden's mental acuity.
Fox's Jill Nadeau-Patel has been critical of the FBI for what he's called the misuses of surveillance. Current FBI Director Christopher Wray still has 3 years left on his term in that job. He'll either resign or be fired. Syria's military has rushed reinforcements to the country's northwest and launched airstrikes today in an attempt to push back insurgents who seized the country's largest city of Aleppo in a surprise offensive in the recent days. America is listening to Fox News.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com. Don't miss out on Black Friday sales live now through November 30th.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The stock market ending November with record closes for the Dow Jones and S&P 500. The Dow finishing Friday's shortened session up 189 points, the S&P 500 up 34, and the Nasdaq up 158. Shares of Tesla rising on this Black Friday, up almost 4% at the closing bell. The EV maker is now one of only 8 companies with a market value above $1 trillion. OpenAI is being sued in Canada. 5 major Canadian news media companies accusing the ChatGPT owner of breaching copyright and online terms of use on a regular basis. Meanwhile, Canada's antitrust watchdog, the Competition Bureau, is suing Google, alleging it conducted anti-competitive online advertising practices. And that's your Fox Business Report. I'm Laura Cantor, invested in you.
Kudlow on Fox Business is now on the go for podcast fans. Download the Kudlow Show podcast every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com. Kudlow covers the latest headlines and business trends with an emphasis on the financial impact facing households and businesses across the country. Listen to interviews with key business newsmakers. The Kudlow podcast will be available on the go after the show every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's commercial property and development expert Rick Meyer.
Oh, it's been a great family business. My dad started the company, and we have been in business a long time. And really what keeps us in business, I think, is just working with our good customers and clients and the relationships that we're able to build. It's really important to us, our agents, to build that relationship, but provide the service to this your local community.
We are the #1 stop in the region for buying and selling residential, commercial, and farm real estate. We've been serving the area for more than 40 years, and we do it with pride.
You can reach us at and look at all our properties at MeyerListings.com. You can also call us at 636-462-5555.
Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at MeyerListings.com.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Byer.
49ers quarterback Brock Purdy expected to start tonight in Buffalo, returning from a shoulder injury that cost him last week against the Green Bay Packers. Snow has hit the Buffalo area. In fact, near Highmark Stadium where the Bills play, almost 3 feet of snow fell over the weekend. However, the heaviest snow that was destined for the area is expected to fall before game time or has already fallen, so the game will go on as scheduled in Buffalo. Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence will return from his shoulder issue. He's starting today against the Houston Texans, active for Jacksonville. Jacksonville, by the way, signed left tackle Walker Little to a 3-year, $45 million contract, according to reports. Jets running back Breece Hall will play against the Seahawks today. NFL Network says it's not likely Eagles wide receiver Devontae Smith goes for Philly against the Ravens, but the Ravens should get linebacker Roquan Smith back from a hamstring injury.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Broken clouds in Troy. Getting down to 15 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the upper 20s, light snow likely. Temperatures in the lower 30s forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy, it's 28. In Warrenton, it's 28 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Well. Welcome back to the second hour of uncensored wrestling talk right here in the Gateway Fiber Studios of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Of course, also on the KYRO Facebook page. Travelinius Productions, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Go like and subscribe. And of course, also on the Uncensored Wrestling Talk Facebook page. HD on X, how can they find us?
At UW Talk KYRO.
There we go. And you have put a question out on the Twitter handle. And what was that question again?
Which promotion do you believe has the best storylines?
We would love to hear your answers and your comments on that. And if you do, hey, we'll talk about it. We'll definitely bring you into the conversation. Again, so much stuff going on, and it was brought to my attention during that last break that we didn't finish actually Full Gear from last weekend, probably due to the fact that we only had 1 hour to go over anything and everything. But
I'm ready to go 2 more hours.
I know you are. I know you are. Jon Moxley took on Orange Cassidy for the AEW Championship, defending that title. And of course, Orange Cassidy, I mean, he put up one heck of a fight, one heck of a humdinger against Jon Moxley. But the number game, just became too much for Orange Cassidy, and he was defeated by Jon Moxley. But interestingly enough, Hangman Adam Page came down and kind of knocked Wheeler Yuta out of the ring with a chair. And then he had a little bit of a standoff, a face-off with Jon Moxley. In came Christian Cage. He hit the Unprettier on Jon Moxley. And then almost directly after that, Jay White came in, and once he had done that to Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page basically took off. Then Jay White came in, took care of Christian Cage, and then Claudio Castagnoli and Pac, Marina Shafir, everybody else jumped in there and took care of Jay White. So, the Death Riders standing tall at the end of the night. They go back to the back to where their vehicle is waiting. This was crazy. It was crazy. Here comes Darby Allin in another vehicle, smashes right into their waiting truck. I mean, totally demolishes the back end.
AEW has a huge car budget.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
They must.
And then, interestingly enough, conveniently enough, the valet parking box is right there with keys to it. They grab some keys, run to another car. That car is already running. It's already running. The lights are on. It's ready to go. Why did they need to grab the keys? But they jump into another vehicle and they take off. Now, the reason why I'm also bringing that up, like we had spoke just briefly on during the break, that leads us to the very first match of AEW Dynamite with Darby Allin taking on Brody King. Of course, he's a member of the House of Black. And the last time, and it wasn't too long ago, like within the last couple of weeks, we saw Darby Allin taking on Brody King, and Darby Allin came out on top with the win in that one, and they, surprisingly enough to me, Brody King, he shook the hand of Darby Allin.
Yeah, right.
And they've got a lot of history
together
between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
With this match, with this newest match, of course, it was also part of the Continental tournament that's going on. That kicked off this tournament. Brody King gets that win and the coveted 3 points to take an early lead in the gold side of things, because you've got two divisions of it, gold and blue. And then he gets out of the ring and starts to go up the ramp, and who comes in? None other than Claudio Castagnoli.
Mm-hmm.
And Brody King walking up the ramp, looking at the Tron, seeing that's about to happen. He turned, again, surprisingly to me, because he's part of the House of Black. They do dastardly deeds. He turns around and comes back, gets into the ring, which prevents Claudio from actually getting in with his chair that he had in his hand to do any more damage to Darby Allin.
Yeah, I mean, I will give AEW credit. I like the Continental Classic tournaments. 20 minutes, no other outside interference, just one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that helps build good matches.
Is Okada the champion during this tournament?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He is. He still is called the Continental Champion. He's defending that championship throughout the tournament. And then no, that doesn't necessarily mean if he loses a match or whatever, he loses that championship until the very, very end, until that finals. But one of the reasons why, and I have said this before, that I am a huge tournament type of person. I love watching these tournaments. But one of the things that makes this so much fun to me is that during this Continental Classic, just like the G1 Climax tournament over in New Japan, it's a round robin. And so you're going to have 5 matches with these 6 folks that are in each one of the sides of the bracket. Each bracket, you're going to have 6 matches with all of these other guys. So a win, you get 3 points. A draw, you get 1 point. And, of course, a loss, you get nothing. And wow, the different types of matches that we're going to see, well, not types of matches, but the matches
combinations,
themselves. Yeah, the combinations. Yeah, thank you. The combinations are going to be very, very cool. First time evers in some of these.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot on the line every single time that you get into the ring for a tournament match.
Yeah, so I wrote down actually the blue and the gold, who's in each one.
Okay, awesome. Bring it on.
So in the gold, you got Darby Allin, Claudio Castagnoli, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, Brody King, and Juice Robinson.
That's a heck of a
tough lineup.
Bracket.
Anybody have any feelings on who's coming out of it?
Oh, it's too early for me.
Yeah.
It's way too early because, again, you've got Will Ospreay
right
in that.
You have to put him as a favorite in that group.
Name that group again.
Darby Allin, Claudio Castagnoli.
See, you got to also say he's a favorite.
Yeah, Claudio could be. Ricochet, Brody King, and Juice Robinson.
And Brody King. You got to think that he
personally, I'd love to see Brody make waves in this tournament this year. He did good last year in the tournament and almost made it to the end.
Almost. What are your thoughts on that bracket?
Well, I'm torn because I feel like the Death Riders need to take that one last thing away from the Elite. Claudio wins that title.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is Ricochet's tournament to lose.
Well, unfortunately, there was already a match.
I know.
Between Ricochet and Claudio Castagnoli, and Castagnoli picking up that
win,
that particular match.
Yep.
And that one was Let's see. Let me look at my list here real quick. I believe that was from Dynamite.
Yeah,
no,
I thought it was Dynamite.
Yeah.
No, Dynamite was Claudio and no, you're right. I think it was. I think you're absolutely 100% right.
I know he
later
lost.
on in the evening on that Claudio went up against Ricochet.
I know
Ricochet
he
lost that one.
Yeah, I know he lost.
So he's already fighting an uphill battle.
So he's chasing.
Yes,
Makes
he
the
is.
crowd love him.
Hey, even more, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Now that's the gold side. Who's in the blue side?
The blue side is Kazuchika Okada.
And you got to say,
He's
with
the
him
champion.
being the champion right now, he's a clear-cut favorite.
Kyle Fletcher.
See, that's another one.
Daniel Garcia.
TNT champion.
Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe, former Ring of Honor world champion.
Shelton Benjamin.
Ooh, the gold standard.
And Beast Mordos.
Beast Mordos.
I would love it if he made it all the way to the end.
You know what?
I know. My curiosity is how far are they going to push him?
I want to say this. The Beast Mordos, before coming over to AEW, of course, he was in TNA.
Black Taurus.
Exactly. And before TNA down in Mexico, he's been in the business for quite some time. But in this tournament, he is one of, well, in wrestling in general, he is one of the most underrated wrestlers that people have seen in the last couple of years. That man can go and do things. He's a big man. He is a big man. But again, he's one of those big men that can move around and fly around
that you wouldn't
like
expect.
a cruiserweight. Holy moly.
Yeah, I'm excited whenever Mordos goes against Shelton Benjamin.
That's going to be an interesting hookup.
Send him to the end. Let's see what they do with him.
Right.
Right. Now, they're doing this a little bit different than what they did with the very first one last year. So, the front runner and the second runner-up in each one of those brackets moves on. The second runner-up of the gold will face the winner of the blue, and the second runner-up of the blue will face the gold winner.
Right.
And then the winners of those two matches will face off against each other.
So technically, you could have two blues going for the championship or two golds
it could.
going for the
There's all
championship.
kinds of different combinations that is possible, to be quite honest. And that's another reason why I love these type of tournaments, because there's so many different things that can happen, and so many different storylines that can be began in these tournaments, so many different new rivalries that can be started with these tournaments.
I like when the tournament gives you the reason for the match. I've never been a fan of let's have a match for the sake of a match, especially on TV. Where are you going?
Absolutely.
Where are you going with this?
For
So
sure.
the tournament gives us a reason to have these matches.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, and the only match that's not on there that I would like to see is Brody King versus Martos.
Ooh, man.
But then you could flip that because he's part of a 3-man. Then you got 2 3-mans.
Well, I mean, he is part of that
LFI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Los Facción Ingobernables.
Yeah.
Which I love that faction, both both from Mexico and from New Japan.
Yeah.
And wow.
I guess Jake needed something to do, so.
Yeah.
Right.
But see, and you're talking about Jake the Snake Roberts.
I am.
Now, with that, it has my head scratching a little bit.
Exactly.
Because, let's explain it here, because, so he does a deal.
I bet, I dare you to try.
Okay, I'm going to. I'm going to now. And in fact, we're up against the break. That's really great. Thanks a lot, HD. When we come back, we're going to jump into that. We're going to explain this whole Jake the Snake Roberts and Don Callis situation, because I think it made sense to be honest.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
All right.
I think it
I'm
makes
eager
sense.
to hear this.
But then it makes me scratch my head because it's not making sense.
Okay, then now we're back.
So here we go. We're going to take a break real quick, and we'll jump right into it right after this.
24-hour towing and recovery in Lincoln, Warren, Pike, or St. Charles County. Call B&B Towing, 636-262-3865. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. B&B will be on the way, 636-262-3865.
People keep talking about how much their homeowner's insurance keeps going up and how the prices are just unbearable in these high times. Well, let me tell you what I did. I got a hold of Dave and Holly over at Safe Harbor Insurance, and they were able to save me a ton of money on my home insurance. And it's not because I cut cost, it's because they're brokers. They made it happen for me and they saved me a ton of money. Check them out at Safe Harbor Insurance. Give them a call at 636-668-6296 and see how much money Dave and Holly can save you.
Lawn care, landscaping, and snow removal, residential and commercial. Contact Elm Lawn and Land Services, LLC, 636-290-4272. Elm Lawn and Land Services, LLC.
And we are back here live in the Gateway Fiber Studios of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Of course, also on all of the feeds. Uncensored Wrestling Talk coming right at you. Now, when we last left a few moments ago, we were about to get in to this whole, and this is storyline stuff, right? Jake the Snake Roberts, he has been the quote-unquote charge of Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk Monster, and of course Don Callis with the Callis family. Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, of course, help me out. I'm trying to think about who else is in this crazy group. Besides, before the other two came in. Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah.
But he had been injured for a little while and was out. Will Ospreay was part of it at one time.
But he asked out.
He did. He asked to be let go, and he was, and then he got turned on. But the interesting thing with this, Jake the Snake Roberts, Don Callis get together. He trades Lance Archer to Don Callis.
Because Don Callis had Roosh at that time.
He did. And in return, Jake the Snake gets Roosh, but also the other members of LFI. Those Faction and Gobernables. And I was thinking, okay, more people for Jake the Snake Roberts to get involved with, to help with their careers. With the Don Callis family, you see on paper, an unstoppable team of Brian Cage, the current Ring of Honor television champion, and Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk, to go along with Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita. Whew, goodness, what a faction that is right now. But right out of the gates, LFI goes down to the ring. Jake the Snake Roberts comes out with them, but stops at the top of the ramp, turns around, walks back, and by golly, we haven't seen him since. Why? What is going on here? I'm not happy.
In the Continental Classic, he can't come out.
Okay, I get that. But who on that list is actually in the tournament besides the Beast Mortos? It's just the Beast Mortos.
Right.
He can still be coming out with Roosh. He can still be coming out with Serpentico, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why not?
HD, you're not helping me. You're not.
It's a long walk to the ring, and he doesn't want to waste the energy.
He did go to the ring at least once with the group and did a little pose. I don't know if that's before or after the disappearance.
That was before the disappearance. Okay. It was before the disappearance. Because, he could have been doing, and I don't know why they didn't utilize it, But he could have been also doing like Don Callis does. Not always is Don Callis at the ring itself. He'll jump on the commentary.
Yeah.
Why can't Jake the Snake do that?
Does he want to?
He's supposed to be the charge. He's supposed to be the manager. He's supposed to be the one helping these guys get over to win their matches by any means necessary, right? And the only one that gets into the tournament is the Beast Martos. And I don't think, because also with Rush, a former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, former champion from Mexico as well. I was totally excited when they first picked up Rush, because before the pandemic hit, Rush was the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Champion. But after he gets picked up by AEW, every once in a while we see him.
Right.
But
his
nothing.
work rate is really diminished.
It has.
You
It's
know.
like, what is going on? He's one of those ones that's fallen in that funnel of a tunnel.
Yep.
Of AEW.
Just like Miro.
That's a different whole story.
Yeah, we could spend the rest of the show on that.
Exactly. Exactly. Holy moly. But I'm perplexed.
That's what you're perplexed about in AEW?
No. That's one of the many things. But with that one, I'm a huge fan of Jake the Snake. I am. Going all the way back to the early days, even before WWE, when he was a part of the Legion of Doom that a lot of people forget that he was a member of.
I don't think they know what they want to do with him. I think creativity or production go, okay, we've got the name Jake the Snake Roberts. What can he really do around the ring right now to help?
That is also part, and I do think this, that is also part of my thinking that AEW's roster is just too doggone big.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Well, they got 2 shows plus a Ring of Honor show that you subscribe to. They can spread it out, but they don't spread it out very well.
There's one of those. So Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, and the Ring of Honor.
Okay,
but one of those is going to be going away very soon, and I believe that is Rampage. But then replacing that, basically, Shockwave. We keep hearing these rumblings about Shockwave, about this new TV show, about this new wrestling TV program. And again, rumblings that it might be on Fox, it might be somewhere else. We don't know yet. But man, come on! There's so many irons in the fire. That's like you said. Sometimes they pull things out just to have a match that just doesn't make any sense. But then also aren't utilizing the proper ones, I guess you could say, for really good storylines that could be going on. Because wow. Because even beforehand, with Jake the Snake Roberts, with the Murder Hawk, they were not using that properly, I don't think.
Well, I think that's part of the problem with Jake right now. Jake the Snake, beginning of AEW, is going to manage Lance Archer, the monster from Japan, and they lose all the time. So what do we even care that he's with Ingranable, whatever that team is?
Los Acción Ingobernables.
Them. Like, why do we care? We don't care.
That's why I just say LFI. It's a lot easier.
But, then he gets moved over to Don Callis, talking about Lance Archer, teaming up with Brian Cage, and the two of them,
they look unstoppable.
They're undefeated right now, guys.
Let them win the titles. I mean, let them go, I say. I'm a fan of Brian Cage.
All right, let me ask you this. With that tag team, because it's new, in the last 2 months or so, right? They are undefeated. 8, 9, 10 matches, something like that into it all. How far along down the line would you say that they deserve to get, and this is projecting that they win everything, keep going on, right, on an undefeated streak. how long before they should get that title shot at the tag team championships?
Until they beat FTR, I don't think it's going to happen.
There have been teams that can't beat FTR that have gotten into that main event against whoever the tag team champions are. HD?
I think what he's saying is they need that established match to make them front runners. FTR would be one of them. Outrunners, not necessarily top guns for the tag titles, but they were in a championship match, full gear. They need to beat one of those kind of teams, and FTR is one of those teams that'll weed you out if you're not ready.
I mean, another team that was in that basically four-way for the tag team championships, Top Flight, right? They demolished Top Flight even before that match. That's why I'm saying that there's things that happen that just it doesn't make sense in the progression of things sometimes, and that's where it gets head scratchy. It gets annoyance, whatever frustration, whatever word that you want to use. Clean word here on the radio, but it's crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I mean. Do they have to go against, like, the House of Black? Would that be a big enough win?
I don't know. They've been losing a lot. Right. Other than the win against, Darby or whatever. As a team, they lose a lot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I would agree with that, too. Although, they had to win to get into that four-way tag team championship match. But outside of those couple of wins to get in, you're right. Over the last year or so, they haven't really picked up too much of as far as in the win column.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how. I could see at least Don Callis' family, both Kyle, Takeshi having belts and them having the tag belts.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it'd be different and cool.
Yeah.
Do something different.
But again, you don't want to copy the Four Horsemen, but yet kind of pull back some of the Four Horsemen where they're helping each other keep their belts.
How about Evolution? Copy Evolution.
There you go. I like it.
Right.
I like it.
How about Camille leaving or quitting for you?
This was during Rampage, or I'm sorry, during Dynamite, that Mercedes Moné, Camille come out. Camille has got that bum shoulder now, because of the attacks by Chris Statlander leading up to their match. Mercedes Moné telling Camille, stay in the back. I'm going to take care of this. And lo and behold, she does. They come out on Dynamite, and Moné is speaking to where you think that she's about to fire Camille. Camille stops her. Rightfully so, I think. And says, you know what? Before you even do what I know what you're about to do, I quit. Turns around and walks off. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, because we talked about this last week and a couple of weeks ago, that we want Camille to be on her own, doing her thing, being the brick house, and demolishing. That we know that she can do, as we saw her as being the NWA champion for over 800 days. She would be an awesome challenger for Mercedes Moné. However, last night on Rampage, it makes me think of Jade Cargill, because not too long ago she was attacked, found unconscious on that hood of the car, and had to be replaced in War Games that we got to get to here in just a few minutes. But Camille was attacked backstage. The identity of the attacker not revealed. My money is saying it was Mercedes Moné.
Or a new bodyguard of Mercedes.
Or a new bodyguard. I didn't even think about that. Wow. Interesting.
Or who's a female Death Rider?
Marina Shafir.
Yeah.
She's too wrapped up.
Do you think so?
Yeah, she's too wrapped up with the Death Riders of what's going on with that.
But that'd be a good match.
Later on down the road. Not right now, though.
Sarge says no.
She says no.
No.
Me. Night.
No. Because it just wouldn't make any sense right now for them to do that.
Right. But it is a...
Why take her away from the Death Riders and put her with Mercedes Moné? Why? It doesn't make sense.
You're right.
Right.
But does AEW...
Oh, Lord, you're pulling my strings. You're pulling my strings again, super fan. This guy. I tell you what, HD. Count him out.
Send me to the back.
Please. Will you do that? Goodness gracious. This guy. He likes to stir the pot. Especially with Burgundy. Have you been hearing what's been going on with that?
I've heard a little. I've heard a little. I'm a ref. I stay neutral.
You're going to have to call that match. You're going to have to call that one. And, of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about with that one, you're going to have to watch News Watch during the week, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 6, right here on News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. The saga continues on a daily basis. Did the Bears win? Did the Bears lose? What's Superfan going to say? How is the Burgundy going to react? Because he's not been a happy camper as of late. He's ready to take a steel chair to the head of a few different people on the Bears, I think.
But I think I'm probably number one in his hit list right now.
Probably you are. Hey, you know what? Let's jump. We've got about 4 minutes before we got to take our last break of Uncensored Wrestling Talk here on the 1st of December. Survivor Series last night. What an amazing show that was last night. However, I will say this before we start getting into any matches and before we take our break, because I want your guys' thoughts on this. There were no, how can you put it, original, ongoing Survivor Series actual matches.
Like a classic Survivor Series
match? Yes, that's
match?
the word.
Mm-hmm.
Classic
we haven't
Survivor
had that
Series.
in a few years now.
Yeah,
Right.
we haven't. And I'm upset.
Okay.
This is the Survivor Series. That's what it's known for, is those type of matches, right?
Go ahead.
I think we're overdue. We're overdue for this to come back.
So I think we're overdue to just forget about Survivor Series, retire it.
Really?
Before War Games, the Survivor Series matches were just nonsensical. We didn't need them.
But it helped create storylines because you got people turning and
I guess
stabbing people in the backs.
And who can be the last man standing?
It just you know how they always say like the Hell in a Cell. It's so forced. Stop having Hell in the Cell every October. We know you're going to have a Hell in the Cell match. Have a Hell in the Cell when it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
I can say the
I would
same.
agree with you
I can
on
say
that.
the same thing about classic Survivor Series matches. Like, it's 2 weeks before Survivor Series, and there's 4 people ganging up on this guy. I wonder what's going to happen. It just became predictable and.
Real quick, before we take our last break, I want to ask you: 5 guys, past, present, doesn't matter. Who would you put on HD's dream?
My dream
team?
Oh man. Off the top of my head, let's see. AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle.
Wow, that's an impressive dream team. Superfan, you're on the spot.
I see. I have to go a little bit farther back. I want the Freebirds.
Okay.
The original,
all 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
Okay, and your other 2?
And then I'm going to put Sting.
Interesting.
Fair.
And Ric Flair.
And Ric Flair. Wow. Okay. And in no particular order, and no real reason behind it, just because I think it would be just an awesome team to put together. Bruno Sammartino, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, and the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette, who I think needs to be put into the WWE Hall of Fame sooner than later.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I don't know why they haven't.
I don't know either, to be quite honest. It's overdue. Way overdue. You put the Rock and Roll Express in, and that was a few years ago. The very following year, they should have put in the Midnight Express. That's my thoughts.
Fair.
Well, we are going to go ahead and take our last break here for Uncensored Wrestling Talk this morning. And when we come back, we are going to jump right on into the deep end, as the superfan likes to say, for Survivor Series last night, right after this.
Hi, everybody. This is News Radio KYRO Vice President and General Manager John Shepper, and I have a question for you. Have you ever considered hosting a foreign exchange student? If you haven't, perhaps the time is now. You can host a high school student from another country who lives with your family for 5 to 10 months, a new international branch for your family tree, and an opportunity to share your part of America with an international teenager. AYUSA has been connecting families around the world for over 30 years. A track record of trust with compassionate, engaged student leaders and personalized host family support. There's no typical family. No matter where you live or how your family is structured, there's a student waiting for a family like yours for a unique opportunity. Find out more by contacting the AYUSA local representative Tricia Schneidermeyer at 636-295-7224. Explore the wonderful opportunities that AYUSA has to offer, connecting families around the world for over 30 years.
King Scott here, and I'm with John Lang, owner of Mount Top Motor Company. John, tell us about the latest sales you guys have going on.
King, we don't have one.
What? You're an auto dealership. You have to have some kind of sale going on.
Nope, no quote, unquote sale going on at our place. And you know why?
Why?
Because usually those sales promotion at other dealerships, they're BS, man. Most of the time they're robbing Peter to pay Paul somewhere, and we don't play those games at Mountaintop. We're not about sales, we're about true savings.
I like that. No sales, just savings. You're saying come in, check out the inventory, and you guys will prove that your pricing is always super competitive.
Correct. We've got so much great inventory in the lot right now. Many vehicles starting at $15,000 or lower. And with our great prices, we're confident we can get you set up the right way.
You heard it. Great pricing, great inventory, great people to work with. And there's a reason Mount Top Motor Company has over 1,000 5-star reviews. Please don't settle for just any dealership. Aim higher and go visit the good guys in Troy. MountTopMotors.com, Facebook, and Instagram.
The Wrecking Crew. What do you guys do here?
We recycle. Our typical business is picking up stuff that nobody else can get.
People may have a lot of money laying in their property and they just don't realize it.
They do. A lot of money sometimes. And not where you would think it would be.
Where are you located?
Troy, Winfield, Vandalia, Missouri. And we do boxes, trailers. We cut stuff up on site. We do insurance work. Farmers, if you have a burnt building or wind damaged building or grain bin, that's our specialty.
How do they get a hold of you?
Call me personally or call the office.
The Wrecking Crew. 636-462-1727.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Broken clouds in Troy. Getting down to 15 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the upper 20s, light snow likely. Temperatures in the lower 30s forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 28. In Warrenton it's 28 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
I love the bumper music, so we've got to turn it down. We're back on Uncensored Wrestling Talk. We've got about 16 minutes left in the show. We've got so much more that we've got to get through and get to talking about. And of course, I'm speaking about Survivor Series that took place last night. As a whole, I think personally, and again, this is just my own thoughts, Survivor Series from last night was one of the better Survivor Series that we've seen in the last 3, 4, maybe 5 years or so.
And why do you say that? What made it different?
The storylines.
Okay.
The storylines of the multiple storylines of the War Games matches themselves, the storyline with the Intercontinental Championship, the craziness of the U.S. title and Shinsuke Nakamura, and that ongoing situation with Gunther, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor. I mean, so much going on that it kept you on the. For me, it kept me on the edge of my seat and wondering what's happening next, what's going to go on next, and kept me invested more and more as the night went on with every single match. It didn't make me want to go get a drink. It didn't make me want to get up and run to the bathroom, or there was no quote unquote match that was a good one to go and get a bite.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I mean, it was I really enjoyed the card, but I guess my problem is the 2 War Game matches. And for this reason, what was gained out of it?
HD?
That's one of the problems I've been having with WWE overall. We'll have these matches, and okay, Roman Reigns' team wins. So what? Like, Rhea's team wins. So what?
So
what does it mean?
Well, here's the deal. We've gotten away from traditional. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Traditional Survivor Series matches, and we've gotten to where it is War Games. And I love War Games. Don't get me wrong. I love a two rings put together with it enclosed inside of a steel cage. I think they need to put a top on that cage like it used to be back in the day. That's just me. But then you wouldn't be able to get the crazy moves.
Trash cans flying.
Exactly. Io Sky, second year in a row. Different move though. A different move.
A moonsault trash can.
A moonsault trash can move this time. Whew. And you know what? For me, I'm going to say for the night, for the entire night, the MVP, the most valuable player of the entire night, and not just because of that particular move, just everything that she was doing during that entire match, the one and only Io Sky.
Okay, fair enough.
Who would you say?
The MVP of the night.
Of the night.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm a stickler for non-gimmick type matches. Triple Threat is kind of a gimmick match, but I was impressed with Sheamus last night, but he's just one of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a comment that Amanda brought in. I thought Sheamus was going to pin Braun Breaker before Kaiser pulled him out of the ring. They had me there.
Yeah, I agree, Amanda.
I agree.
I agree. 100%.
I think that was
the
match.
Comment, Amanda.
I think that was a match of the night, personally.
Okay.
I love that match.
I was like, they're not going to have Braun Breaker lose now, are they? And then a few times I was like, he might.
But, when is Sheamus going to become a grand champion?
Well, that's a question that you put on our little
message
Facebook Messenger, and HD, you answered that. You answered that with saying he's won both of the different world championships, the U.S. title, and tag team champions. So when you talk about grand, usually it's 4, right? But can you really call him a Grand Slam winner?
No, I was being sarcastic.
I know, and I loved it. That's what I was about to say. Sarcastically, no, he's not. He's not. Does he need that title? I don't think he needs that title.
I don't think he needs it, but I think he deserves it.
Interesting.
Deserve is a weird word. I'm not saying you're wrong, but deserve is a weird word for somebody that's most likely a multimillionaire. Has been the world champion a few times.
Several.
Like, what more does he deserve? It's a weird word.
The record in time wise of winning a championship at WrestleMania, 18 seconds, I think it is, against Daniel Bryan at the time. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I just think that's that last feather in his cap before he's in the Hall of Fame.
I think he's in the Hall of Fame now.
I think he's a first-time ballot.
He's going to be a first-time ballot, yes. But that is just that one little... Because, come on, Miz, 2-time grand champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And?
Your point?
It's a Miz.
I love the Miz.
I love the Miz as well.
I think he was stupid Monday night to be poking the bear of the Wyatt Six, but that's the Miz.
Right.
That's the Miz. But back to last
Survivors.
Back to 2 Survivor Series though. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn, CM Punk taking on Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and of course Tonga Loa and big Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, if he had came off with that tsunami on the Roman Reigns at that particular moment, it was over.
The place would have erupted.
It was done.
I don't know.
I think Bronson Reed was the star of that one.
Really?
He's been the star of Raw to me. Like he is.
I would agree.
And how about a tag team of Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu?
It's gonna happen. He's part of Bloodline. So
is he
maybe
just a random player?
He's
right
got
now?
that South Pacific
look,
blood running through his veins. So yeah,
I would like to see him stay, but if
I
he
do
doesn't,
too.
he's on Raw. So
I understand. Yeah, but
I don't know if Roman would have survived that. I mean,
again though, CM Punk pulling Roman Reigns out of the way of that massive tsunami that was about to happen. And because of that, all 5 of the members of the OG bloodline were able to surround Solo Sikoa, do him in, get the big win. But something leading up to this, CM Punk and Roman Reigns having a little sit down with Paul Heyman moderating, and CM Punk telling them that either way, win or lose, honestly, he's owed a favor. And really, who owes him that favor? Is it Roman Reigns?
I think he said he owes it the favor to Paul.
Or Paul.
Paul
Exactly.
owes him a favor.
Exactly.
And he stated that after the match.
Now, I'm going to go on a little bit of a limb here. And I want you guys to tell me what you guys think as well, as we've got about 7.5, 8 minutes left to go. The favor that I think gets called in to Paul Heyman from CM Punk is a main event spot at WrestleMania.
Well,
because he's never had that WrestleMania main event.
So Punk is going to ask for a main event spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think somewhere along the line between now and WrestleMania, Roman Reigns beats Cody Rhodes for that championship to get it back, to get all the pieces back together again of the bloodline, right? And I don't mean Solo Sikoa and the rest of them, but just that bloodline back together and on that high level again. And then once that happens, CM Punk cashes in his so-called favor from Paul Heyman. He wants that match, excuse me, with Roman Reigns, and we get it at WrestleMania.
Do we want Roman versus Punk in the main event of WrestleMania?
I'm not saying I want it. I'm thinking that's the way it's going to happen, though.
Or is he going to ask? See, I took it as he's going to ask Paul to direct him and lead him to a championship and be his solo wise man, not the wise man of the OG.
Maybe he pulls double duty, Paul Heyman, and is the wise man.
Like he's got
to,
a big match coming up, and he says, "I need Paul's help for this one match."
Yeah,
right.
Okay, I could
something
see that.
along those lines. Hey, we've got another comment from Amanda Capreza. And she states, the interesting part of the men's War Games was that it not only had the drama with the bloodline, but opened up a feud with CM Punk and Roman in the future. And Punk has so many possible directions they can go in with him because he has issues with numerous people. And granted, absolutely, 100%. Thank you for your comments, Amanda. What do you guys think?
Well, he's got the thing with Seth.
Right.
And Roman and Seth also hate each other, so maybe Punk needs help with that.
I think we see CM Punk and Seth Rollins before we see a CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, to be quite honest.
Seth's got to get through this thing with Bronson first. I don't think that's over.
You don't think that's over yet?
I don't think so.
I think they could pull. I think it's going to carry for a little bit. But the thing about it is, were you surprised that there wasn't any surprise appearances?
I was
as well.
After the match was over, I was like, Seth didn't come out? Like, the one guy you would think
I
would
thought
come
Seth
out.
was going to come out at the end there.
Because that would have been an interesting dynamic if after they had won, if after he had won, his music hits, and he's pulling a CM Punk from last year and just coming out to that edge of where the crowd is and pointing and pointing and pointing and pointing and pointing.
It has been a year, you're right, since Punk came back.
Exactly. And you know what? I will say this as well. CM Punk has changed, has turned things around, I should say, from all of the stuff that was going on before he came in WWE. I'll be one of the first ones to admit it. I didn't think he was going to do so well in the WWE just because of all the stuff, all the baggage, I guess you could say, following him coming into WWE. But to be quite honest, he's been delivering. Win, lose, or draw, he's been delivering every single time. And you know what? I'll say this too, and I want your guys' thoughts on this. He hasn't been a cancer in the locker room like it was perceived to be.
Well, I was going to say, are you there? How do you know?
Well, it's not being
It's not being portrayed
It's
that
not being
way.
portrayed. It's not being perceived as it was before he got to
It is the
WWE.
perception that he's at least happy right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that says something.
Now,
and do you think we'll see CM Punk versus Cena on his farewell tour?
Probably.
I think so.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
so. If they don't do as CM Punk versus Cena, I really truly believe it's one of the biggest misses that WWE
At least
would have committed.
If they don't do the match, they'll do a tag team. You know, Cena and
Something.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
be together.
Something. Together or against each other?
I think they need to go against each other.
I'm saying they'll have a
personally, but-
program together, one way or another, teaming or against each other.
I agree. That would be a wild dynamic if they ended up teaming together against someone.
I could see that it's possible. They're both fan favorites now. Punk has always been a fan favorite, but Cena, I don't know. They're both the elder roster members, I suppose, so I could see them.
Mhm.
Something I see.
Another match that happened Survivor Series. We've got about 2.5 minutes left in the show, and I want to touch on this one. Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
For the United States Championship. I had my money on Nakamura, to be quite honest about it. However, I really expected the Mist to come into play in this match, and that it actually didn't happen.
Right.
What did you think of that match? And the Mist not happening?
I would have thought that Nakamura would have lost, but the program would have continued. You know, his first match back, he's not going to win, but I was happily surprised that he won.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he deserved it, but I thought it was going to be, instead of a straight up win, I thought there was going to be some shenanigans, like we like to say.
Disqualification of sorts, or
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
a draw, or
Right.
double DQ, whatever you want to call it. And
Right.
Keep continue on. I mean, even though Nakamura has won the belt, I don't think this situation with LA Knight is over with by any stretch of the imagination.
Nope.
But I will say this: in the last minute that we have here on the program, Nakamura is also one of those ones that, since being moved from NXT up to the quote unquote main roster, he should have held the World Championship or the WWE Championship or a combination at least a couple of times. I think they've missed the mark with this particular wrestler.
Does everyone have to be a world champion?
Not everybody, but there's certain people. There are certain people that taking a word from Superfan over here, that deserve and have earned the right to hold that championship. And I think Nakamura is one of them. But now coming back on this one, we are getting to see the beginning of Nakamura the
his
way he
rise.
was in Japan.
He's never been the Japan Nakamura ever.
Right, and I think we're starting to see that. Hey, we've got about 30 seconds left in the show here. Again, I want to thank you, Superfan Tim Williams, for coming in. H.D. Daniels, our resident referee, want to thank you again for coming in and doing this awesome show with me. Without you guys, it wouldn't be what it is right now. So again, I thank you. That's my Thanksgiving for this year. I thank the both of you for helping with this show and helping it climb the ladder, as we say here in the industry.
And we thank you.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Hey, We are done. We will see you next week.
1280 KYRO Troy. It's 12 o'clock in the Heartland.
Fox News, I'm Pam Puso. Heading home after the holiday, the trip just got better for people traveling through snowy western New York.
People trying to get back to the Midwest. I-90, the New York State Thruway, is open in both directions, but not